Hey everyone, I'm back with another segment from CES 2018, and I got a killer one about virtual reality, which is something that I was really looking forward to when I stepped onto the floor of this convention hall. And this was actually the HTC Vive Pro. So NVIDIA invited me to their suite a couple of days ago, and I got to play raw data on the HTC Vive Pro, which was introduced right here at CES. So the Vive Pro has these insane updates to the specs from the original Vive. So now you get 2880 by 1600 resolutions, which ends up being 1440 by 1600 per eye, which is a 78% increase from the original. That's insane. And 615 pixels per inch. So that's a 37% increase from the original. You also get 90 hertz refresh rates, 110 degrees field of view, which honestly, they could still work on that a little bit more because my peripheral vision was not that great in the game. And something that stood out to me with the resolution in this platform was text on the screen. So when you're in the game, for example, in raw data, you see all this text on the wall, and it's usually kanji, it's Japanese kanji. It's very, very thin with the lines for all the different strokes of the language. When you're reading it with the HTC Vive, the original, I would expect to have to maybe squint, or I would have to move the headset around a little bit to actually see it very well. And in the case of the HTC Vive Pro, I didn't have to do that. The lines were much more precise, much more defined, and a lot more clear than the original one was. I also noticed while I was playing the game, and you can see here from my B-roll, I jumped away from an android as they were flying at me from behind, and it scared the crap out of me because the gaming looks so realistic with this higher resolution. Now, you will still notice some pixels, but it's not as obvious as the original, which means that while you're in the game, you're a lot more immersed with the technology. When I got to put it on, it blocks out almost all of the light. I have somewhat of a flat nose, so I was still able to see below me, see down to the floor below me, and I was able to lean up and look at my camera if I needed to check the frame or anything like that and make sure I was still in frame. But overall, it blocked out most of the light from the room that I was in. You'll also notice that I wear glasses, so I was worried that it might squeeze my head a little bit too much on the sides, or it might press them in too much against my eyeballs, which would hurt. With the HTC Vive Pro, I didn't have that issue, so when I put them on, it was really comfortable around the frame, so I didn't have any problems with that. It seemed to mold around the side of my frames too, so the two legs that go beneath or go behind the ears, so I didn't have any problems with those squeezing too hard against my ears. They also have adjustable headsets, so when you put those on, you can adjust them a little bit farther away from your ears if you need to, or a little closer and get them tighter if you prefer that. So I didn't have any problems with those squeezing my ears too much and getting tiring after a while of playing. To adjust the frame of the headset, it's still pretty similar to the original HTC Vive. There's a little Velcro top part that you can switch back and forth, and there's a screw on the back to tighten it. When you do tighten it, you do sense it getting tighter. If you tighten it too much, obviously it will hurt, so don't do that. I was worried about taking it off and having it pull at my hair, but that didn't end up being an issue at all, which is great. The on-ear headphones also cover most of the noise from real life or RL, and they do use high-res audio, which is wonderful. Now, there are two different settings. There's alert and conversation, so if you do need to hear what's going on around you in real life, then you can totally do so. They also announced the HTC Vive wireless adapter. Now, unfortunately, I did not get to play with the wireless adapter. I was still tethered, just like you are with the original, but this is the first time that I've seen a really good idea for wireless virtual reality gaming, and I can't wait to play with that myself. Now, there is no price point yet, but it will ship sometime this year. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it happens soon, because I really want to get hands-on more with the HTC Vive Pro. If you want to learn more about virtual reality, because that's something I'm really interested in as well, definitely hit me up. I'm at Snubs on Twitter, or you can check out our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/TekThing, and make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying these CES videos. I will talk to you next time on another video from the show floor. Bye.